Deer and Wildlife Stories.
All right, why don't you tell me who you think this deer is? You should know him.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I think I know who this guy is. This is awesome. If that's who I think it is, that's gonna be good. Howdy everybody. Welcome to Deer and Wildlife Stories. My name is Keith Warren. Today, we're about an hour east of Austin, Texas at a ranch called the Keeper Ranch. I've known Bryant Kern for, I don't know, I guess 4 years maybe? Anyway, maybe longer than that. And I know him very well. Bryant is a really good young man, okay? He's honest, he's knowledgeable, and he's dependable. And it's for that reason that Greensmith has him out here taking care of the deer at the Keeper Ranch.
My name is Bryant Kern and I'm the deer pen manager at Keeper Ranch.
This is the first time that I've come out to the Keeper Ranch. I've heard about it quite a bit, and I am very impressed. And I look around and I see all these big old deer. And they haven't been breeding deer for very long, but they've got all these big deer, and the reason why is they bought them. They bought them from the top breeders in the nation, and they're right here in Texas.
Our goal here is to run high-end genetics. When we got started into this industry, we went ahead and bought, right now we're sitting at about 100 animals that we ended up purchasing, and they're all ranging between that $10,000 and some of them are up in that $100,000 mark. And what our goal is we want to produce that one breeder out there in the industry that everybody climbs to and wants to use.
I guess the first impression that I got when I came out here is that being only an hour away from Austin, this is a beautiful piece of property. I mean, when you start taking a look at it, it's nice rolling hills. It's really thick brush in some parts, and you got some big pine trees. I love big pine trees. Most of it is post oak. There's some live oaks and some yopon holly. And the deer pens are big and they're beautiful. They've got a lot of big trees in them, so it does make filming a little bit difficult at times. But the deer love the trees because the trees provide the shade, and the place is just beautiful. All right, so the Keeper Ranch has not been raising whitetails long, and Bryant's been here a little bit over a year as of now. And the deer that we're going to show you in the pens, it's remarkable, the quality of deer, but what's really remarkable is the quantity of quality deer. And so we're going to start out by showing you this buck right here, and his name is FEDEX. So Bryant, tell them about FEDEX.
FEDEX is a buck we bought from Cross Canyon Whitetails, and one that we were honestly lucky to stumble upon. This boy has been throwing, and he's been a throwing machine throughout the industry. Year in and year out, he just keeps producing yearlings, 2-year-olds that just have a huge frame. Whatever your doe side does, he's just gonna kind of complement that. And so if she throws width, he's gonna make it even wider. If she throws tine lengths, he's gonna make them even taller.
Okay.
I mean, he's been just producing nonstop, and we're so lucky to have him.
Well, he's beautiful. I mean, he's got the big frame on him, and I don't know how wide he is, doesn't matter. He's huge, and he's got that drop. You know, I'm just wondering, so how old is he now?
So he's 8 right now.
Okay, 8. And if you went in the North American Deer Registry and you went online and checked it out, you would see that there are so many offspring out of him.
Yes, sir.
Because so many people have used FEDEX to breed. And so throughout the day, we're going to be visiting all these different pens, and we're going to pop up on the screen some NADAR certificates, they call it, North American Deer Registry certificates, so you can actually see the deer and you can see the lineage on them, who the dam and sire are. But who is the sire on that one?
His dad is Express.
Okay.
Yep.
And the dam?
The dam is White 7, and you'll see her a lot as well.
Yeah. So anyway, we've got a bunch of deer, a bunch of big deer to show you today. And at the end of the show, we're going to show you some deer of a different color. I think you're going to like it.
All right. Why don't you tell me who you think this deer is? You should know him.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I think I know who this guy is. This is awesome. If that's who I think it is, that's going to be good. All right, so I'm going to introduce you to a deer right now, and his name is Landmark. Take a look at him. He is a 4-year-old, and the reason why I know so much about that deer is that deer, we actually filmed him at 2 years old over at Divine Genetics, okay? I mean,
Yeah.
he was over at Cole's, and at 2 years old, you could tell he was gonna be something. I mean, what an awesome deer. And now take a look at it. He had 2 more years to him, and I mean, he is an incredible deer. Now, we talk about partnerships a lot of times on the show because deer are worth so much money. A lot of times it's, people find it better to maybe partner on 2 bucks rather than own 1 buck. So as far as partners go on Landmark, tell them who your partner is.
Cole gave us a call, Cole Wolf over at Divine Genetics. He gave us a call about 5-6 months ago, and he said, hey, you know, I got a guy that's looking to get out of Landmark. Could we go ahead and make a partnership happen with y'all? And as soon as I got that call, I knew we were going to be pulling the trigger. I mean, how can you go wrong with that beautiful 4-year-old? Yeah. I mean, that frame, that look, it doesn't get any better than that. No,
I mean, it does not get any better than that. The thing that I'm amazed is the price of the semen. I mean, if you want to know how much the semen is, you're going to have to call Bryant. He'll tell you, but you're going to have to call him. Because when he told me, because it's like, I'm thinking, that's the look right there that most people want to go for now.
Yeah.
Big frame, clean, typical, and he's got the paper to back him up. And the price of the semen is like, well, you kidding me? That's a good deal.
Yes, sir.
But if somebody wants to contact you to find out not just about the price of semen on Landmark, but maybe to come out here and go on a farm tour, give them a telephone number, some type of contact information they can get a hold of you.
So my phone number is 979-213-2282. And give me a call anytime, any questions, anything. I'm open to it.
You know, the thing about Bryant that I really, really appreciate is the fact that he'll pick up the phone, he'll talk to you, okay? You're not gonna be waiting forever. He's like, right now, he's on it. And so he'll get a hold of you. And you know, there are people that are out of state that will partner on deer down here in Texas. Okay, and the reason why is they may not be able to move the deer, but they're going to benefit from the financial partnership, but they're going to also benefit from being able to breed with the semen from that deer. So I think that's pretty cool. So if you want more information about anything here at Keeper Ranch, you can get a hold of Bryant. But right now we're going to head to a pen and we're going to show you a buck named MOLOTOV, and I think you're going to like him. Antler infection. Deer farmers, especially in the summer, have to be worried about antler infection. And many times they do not consider the water troughs as a source of antler infection. It's important to make sure your deer have plenty of water. And when bucks wind up watering out of a water trough like this, many times their antlers can get so big that if the water goes down too far and they have to stick their nose in too deep to get a drink, they hit their antlers on the side of the water trough and they'll get a little nick and it could lead to antler infection. So what I like to do is make sure every single day fill my water troughs all the way up just to avoid antler infection. Just another day on the farm. Now these deer, I mean, when you start taking a look at them, I mean, if you went on the deer registry and you checked out how many deer have been sired by these big sires here, there'd be hundreds, maybe into the thousands. I mean, there's a lot of deer that have been sired from these great big breeder bucks here. And so the whole point of all this is to tell you that the person that winds up, he owns this place, Green Smith is his name. Green Smith is a nut about white-tailed deer. He is passionate about white-tailed deer as anybody I know. And I can tell you that anybody that comes out here knows instantly that Green is nuts about whitetails.
So before this, I was working up in Missouri, and I've been down here at Keeper Ranch in Texas for about a year now. And I've been very blessed to have such a great owner. Green Smith, he's a guy that just started in this industry. He bought his first animals at Texas Top 30, January of 2018. And since then, he's been engrossed in the genetics of these animals and something that he's very passionate about. Honestly, he's second to none as far as being able to tell you about his deer, and not only that, other people's deer. We've been blessed as a team to just have such a great owner, and he's been fantastic. I couldn't say anything bad about him.
All right, so we've already shown you a bunch of big deer right here at Keeper Ranch, but we're in another pen right now, and I can see some monsters from here. What's the deal with the guy that's cut off? Who is that?
He's our buck MOLOTOV. He's express over 4M gone nuclear.
Why'd you cut him off?
We actually had to cut him off because he had a little antler infection going on, and so we just wanted to make sure he was safe and sound and keep him good and healthy.
And so y'all got video though before that, right?
We got video right before that, and he's looking good. I mean, he was 30 inches wide and 30-inch beams, and he was pushing 300.
Really?
Yes, sir.
Really?
Yes, sir.
And his name is MOLOTOV.
Yep.
Okay. Wow. And so how long ago did you cut him?
We cut him about a week ago.
Okay, now, I was gonna say who's that other big guy in there, but that's a dumb question. Which big guy? I mean, I'm telling you, I mean, I'm sitting here looking and go, okay, you got some, okay. How can I take?
Is it a blue or a white tag?
Blue.
That blue tag is Excess. He's 7 years old this year, and if you don't know his pedigree, you haven't been around the industry long. He's Express over Tasha.
That's as strong as it gets right there.
Yes, sir.
I mean, that's unbelievable. That's Excess. Okay, now there's another big boy in there. Who is that?
That big boy is Great White. He's free agent over Orange 888, and you know, he's been producing some good clean typicals. I mean,
even though he looks non-typical like that, he's throwing typical.
Even though he looks non-typical, he's throwing typical sons and big framey yearlings.
What's
big
that thing
framey.
on his back?
You know, honestly, I think that's part of the reason why they named him what they named him. He's got that white patch right on his back there.
Wow. And how old's he?
He's going to be 8.
Okay. So these are older, other than MOLOTOV. These guys in here are older than the breeder bucks.
Yes, sir. We just wanted to buy some big name guys that people would know in the industry. You know, bucks that have been around for a while, and hopefully get us jump started with our program.
Okay, so folks, as you're looking at these deer, I mean, a 7 or 8 year old breeder buck, you can see what they're going to look like. At some point, they're going to start going backwards, but it doesn't matter when they go backwards because it's not the antlers that you're looking at; it's the paper.
Yes, sir.
And
yes, sir. And the sons is a big thing.
Yeah.
I mean, looking at their sons, I mean, some of those 8 or 9 year old deer that are still prominent in today's market, the reason why is because of their paper and
their production. Yeah. Okay, so address, if you would, the North American Deer Registry and how important it is that these deer are in there and that brings them value.
It's very important. I mean, you got a non-registered animal and you're not going to get anything for it. These animals, when you start to get into the high dollars, you need that paper, and people base everything off of what they've produced, what the doe side has produced, what the buck side has produced, and that's how they gain in their value.
And so every one of these deer is in the registry? Correct?
Yes, sir. Every single deer we have at this place is in the registry.
And the best piece of advice I could give for somebody getting in the industry, don't ever buy a deer unless it's in the North American Deer Registry. I mean, if you do, you're going to kick yourself.
Yes, sir. You definitely will.
You're going to kick yourself. I don't care how big it is. You're going to kick yourself. These are some good looking deer now.
Yep, they are.
He's got some deer that we're fixing to show you that are kind of a deer of a different color. Don't go anywhere. All right, well, we're not going to need to have a long lens on these deer for sure. And if you think those are funny looking white-tailed deer, they are. They're actually fallow deer. Okay. And so I'm really surprised. I mean, I know that there's a trend in the Texas industry from a lot of deer breeders to start with the fallow deer. But
yeah,
this is the first opportunity for us to actually sit down and talk to somebody about it. So tell them what's going on with the fallows.
I mean, what's going on is there's a whole lot less government regulation. I mean, that's a big part of it. You know, Texas Parks is kind of chomping at us a little bit here with the whitetail, and so it's a great avenue. And with our big boys kind of coming out and leading the way, a lot of people are taking interest because they've seen fallow that they haven't seen before. Yeah,
and you know, these guys right here, first off, if you're not familiar with fallows, there are 3 different color faces basically. You're gonna have whites and chocolates and spotted. And of course, you've got these guys in here. What has been your experience with which one gets bigger?
Generally speaking, it's either the spotted or the chocolates that get bigger. I've seen a couple of big whites, but for the most part, it's spotted and chocolates.
And these guys are how old?
These guys are all 2 years old in here.
Wow. Okay, and so the cool thing about the fallow deer is that they're going to play the genetic game just like we do on the whitetail side. Okay, and it's really kind of in its infancy, and fallow deer are a whole lot more, I guess you can get into the fallow deer business a little bit more affordably than the whitetail business on the breeder side. And how are they to raise? I mean, they compared to a whitetail?
They're calm, they're easy. They're really easy.
I mean, look how close they are. I mean, these guys they're docile.
Yep, not bottle fed, and they come up that close.
Really?
Yep. It's
okay,
just
so
in their nature.
Now, keep in mind, folks, these are breeder deer. These are not to be hunted. These are breeder deer. It's breeder stock. And so, speaking of that, you know, just like here at the Keeper Ranch, they sell whitetails. Well, they sell fallow deer too. Tell them about the big boy that y'all sold.
The big boy we sold, I mean, his name's Bullwinkle, and he's over at Cross Canyon right now. We sold, actually at this point we're up to 75%, 25% between 3 partners, and we retain 25% ourselves. So, but yeah, he's something to see.
How old is he? And I mean, he's got to be one of the biggest ones in the world.
I think we got a world record on our hands, yes sir. And he's 3 years old.
He's only 3 years old?
Yep.
Holy smokes! And so genetically, are any of the fallow that you've got on the farm out of him, related back to him?
We have a couple of fawns we had this year that are out of him, but then we also have 2 half brothers to him. One is in this pen here, and then the other one is just a yearling spike.
So you've got some older bucks. These guys in this next pen are older, right?
Yes, sir. Yep, they're 4 years old.
Okay. And you can tell there's a considerable difference between these 2-year-olds and those 4-year-olds. I mean, take a look at what age is going to do on it, but at the same time, too, genetics. I mean, those guys, I mean, I don't know how you score fallow deer, but when I take a look at Bullwinkle, it doesn't matter what he scores. Like,
yeah.
So if people were interested in, say, fallow deer farming, and they have fallow deer questions, give them a telephone number they can call you.
979-213-2282.
And what I would recommend when you call Bryant and you make an appointment to come out here, come out in the evening, bring a pair of binoculars if you're going to look at the whitetails, because they're not going to be up close like these fallow deer. But be prepared to spend a couple, 3 hours. I mean, come out here and take some time. There's a lot of big deer. The fallow deer are awesome. I mean, this is a new industry, kind of. It's just starting up, so it may be a good time for people to consider coming on out and getting into that industry. But if you've got any questions or comments about the show and would like to get a hold of me, head on over to the website and leave any questions or comments. I'd like to hear from you. My name is Keith Warren, and you've been watching Deer and Wildlife Stories.
Darn it.
That's right. That's right.